Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be able to say to you, welcome to Cabal Vision HD, the new official Blood Bowl TV.
Hi, everyone. Our goblin technicians have been working night and day for the last year in order to deliver you the best quality service ever.
I guess we have time for some Q&A. Oh, I see the Lord already asked a question. Advice about a Norse team. Top Norse in the competitive ladder. Yhetee got to level 5. Nice. Nice. No doubles. Should he replace? I would not replace now. If you know that you're in it for the long haul, then I would be replacing. But since you know that you're playing for kind of a short term, and you don't have guarantees on the doubles anyway, I would probably just stick with him. I don't know whether the Black Seed snored, because he was on the couch over here, whereas I was on the next floor. He didn't snore loud enough that I heard him upstairs, that's for sure. When to keep the Orc Thrower? I tend to keep them pretty much in general. A 5+5 is Mighty Blow, Master, for me. Yes. Orc Walker, yeah. I think that would make a lot of sense. That's an interesting question, Triparis. Now, most of my Blood Bowl experience comes from Fumble, where the human catchers are armor 7 and 70k. So the new tabletop set apparently made a different fix to the human catcher than Cyanide did. So Cyanide made human catchers armor 8. The new tabletop Blood Bowl made human catchers 60k, which is a different fix. I'm not sure which I like better, but I do think they should be the same across places where the game is played. Normally on human teams, I like one catcher. Like normally is what I say when I refer to Fumble. Maybe Kumo, could you link my human team for a moment? Thanks. So I consider humans to be a team that only really does hard bash, and of course they lack claw, but you want to make up for that with a big bench and a bunch of dirty player. And work with that. With armor 8, they become better, especially with guard. I think on Cyanide's human catchers, they become a lot more reasonable to give say block, sidestep, diving tackle, or ideally block, sidestep, guard. Yep, those are the ones, Kumo. Yes, thanks. So there you can see how I built my humans, and in that case I have one catcher, and the reason I have him is actually only because I'm hoping to develop a good one-turner. I think a one-turner catcher is the only thing that team lacks to make them seriously competitive. So you want to focus on your blitzers. You want your star player points on your blitzers. You want them to become good killers, guarders. In this case, I have a stat freak blitzer, which is nice, an agility and a movement. But he was already a killer before he became a stat freak, so he's kind of a dual role thing now. And I think you want one catcher who can one turn reliably. That's kind of what humans need to give them that little boost up from from tier 2 to tier 1. So if I had an agility and a movement on a catcher, for instance, I think that team would be a seriously competitive squad. 16 players is a bit overkill, especially because it costs you the spot for a star player. If I were to enter that team into a Fumble Majors, I would drop one player so that I have room to pick up either a Griff or a Chainsaw. Alright, any more questions, guys? Before Snow Toad comes back and we try and do a quick teaching game. This is the part where I make fun of Diog, right? Yeah. My opinion on Necro. Before I played them on bloodbowl 2, I had...
You kept rolling skies.
Before I had Necro in bloodbowl 2, I only played them, one team of them on Fumble, and they became very one-dimensional. They were super hard bash at low to mid TV. And I didn't like them much at all, because that's really not my playstyle. I like my bloodbowl 2 Necro a lot better. They seem to be doing pretty well at winning, but they need good rolls on the bloody werewolves. That's really something. I fired 2 healthy werewolves on that team. I've had 8 werewolf skill ups so far, and all 8 were normal rolls. And werewolves are one of the players that really, really need some good rolls. Whether it's stats, I mean, a movement 9 wolf is nice, a strength wolf is brilliant, an agility wolf is brilliant, a mighty blow wolf is splendid as well. But you know, Necro are a solid teams. Are a solid team. Best way to build Undead if you don't get doubles. Yeah, cycling them is worth it. Stats, yeah. I mean, strength is okay-ish, but really, you want doubles. You want block at the very least. Blodge is actually kind of nice, I think, on a mummy. But yeah, guard stand firm is fine. But on a third normals, if you don't have the money to cycle, then grab is okay. But I would be looking to cycle them if their third skill up is not block. And otherwise, development, well, mighty blow tackle on a white, of course. Ideally, agility on a ghoul. You know, blood sure hand sidestep on a ghoul is fine. I like having a frenzy white for undead. Not so much for Necro, because wolves. Well, yeah, of course, you know, silly builds are silly, but I don't think you need my advice on how to do silly, right? Strength 4 ghoul isn't bad. Strength 4 ghoul is okay-ish. You don't use ghouls at all. Yeah, that can work. I did that for quite some time on my Fumble Necro. If you look at the team, the Fumble one, it has one ghoul with 1 game played and 1 ghoul with 0 games played. Before that, I played without them. But both of my whites have Mighty Blow. Both of my wolves have Mighty Blow. One has Piling On. And so what I wound up with is basically 4 killers, and having to pick up the ball with one of the killers limits your killing potential, and that's why I gave them a ghoul so that he could hang on to the ball, and I would have all my guard and mighty blow up front doing its thing. Khemri advice: cycle Tomb Guardians. I haven't really been in that situation yet. Tomb Guardians, they start one step back, right? Because they don't have Mighty Blow, so you can afford to keep them a bit longer. Because you want Mighty Blow, you want Guard. Stand Firm isn't bad, so I think cycling Tomb Guardians is something you quite often don't really get around to, because they also need replacement more often, because you've got 4 and because they've got decay. So I think I probably wouldn't unless you somehow have money left. As for the other question, yes, you want 2 throw ras. You want as much movement as you can get on the Khemri.